Deep within the vast caverns of the elemental plane of Earth, a Xorn is munching on rocks to find occasional precious ore to satiate its never-ending appetite. Accidentally, it consumes a metal so powerful, those in the material plane regard it as an artifact, transmutametal. The semi-liquid ingot slides deep into the cavities of the Xorn's mind, granting it a level of sapience beyond even typical human capabilities. He dubs himself King Xorn and develops a dictatorial and ruthless society. Naturally, the party wishes to put an end to this and take the transmutametal for their own heroic uses. This, of course, is the perfect setup for a combat encounter. It also brought me to the question of what is a Xorn and what makes them tick. As with previous videos on the Remoraz and the Behir, I want to analyze and update the Xorn to give it more interesting abilities. The challenge of this video is to not only look at the existing Xorn, but to use that information to create King Xorn, a more powerful version. There are three ways I analyze monsters, and I call it the triple S: structure, surroundings, and strategy. So first, the structure of a Xorn. Xorn are medium-sized creatures with 3 claws, 3 legs, 3 eyes, and an imposing gullet of teeth. This prevents the Xorn from being flanked, as it can see 360 degrees and it can produce a flurry of devastating attacks if needed. Its skin is rocky and thick, giving it resistance to bludgeoning, slashing, and piercing damage from non-adamantine weapons. Older editions provided immunity to fire and cold, and resistance to lightning damage, which is something we should reincorporate into the 5th edition stat block. The most notable feature of a Xorn is its love for gems and minerals. Despite having no discernible nose, according to many sources, they can still smell treasure. The Xorn can pinpoint, by scent, the location of precious metals and stones, such as coins and gems, within 60 feet of it. They are incapable of digesting meat and thrive on a constant supply of rocks from the elemental plane of Earth. Considering they can glide in the earth like a fish in water, it makes sense that they have dark vision and tremor sense. But Xorn are not mindless and are capable of speech, albeit Terran, the language of hums and grumbles. We'll talk more about their intelligence later, but now let's talk about their surroundings. Xorns live on the elemental plane of Earth, continuously consuming raw materials found in the endless expanse. This is where they're most happy. If forced onto the material plane, there is substantially less food available. Therefore, the Xorn would likely be more aggressive in search of food, or acts by bargaining with adventurers. Considering they're only eating gems and minerals, Xorn don't have caverns they set up for hunting. However, they do sometimes store their food in nearby air pockets, presumably to eat later at times when they're hungry. So what's their strategy then? In multiple sources, it's claimed Xorns would rather negotiate than fight, especially if transported accidentally to the material plane. Xorns need to eat an abundance of gems and minerals, so in exchange for a treasure, a Xorn could be very willing to exchange information with the party. But what if a Xorn is forced to fight? In a combat situation, Xorns are very likely to utilize the fact that they can burrow underground. They can burrow safely and then strike when ready. This makes striking a Xorn all but impossible, unless there's some way to extract them from the ground. A line in the 2E Monstrous manual allowed a creature to cast Mold Earth and fling the Xorn 30 feet and stun it, which seems like an interesting option. If forced into a one-on-one situation, a Xorn's powerful claws and toothy bite make for devastating attacks. It seems like a missed opportunity to give up on a stomp attack as well. Okay, we've seen the Xorn and understand it. Now it's time for some modifications. The 5e Xorn is a good start, but let's add that little bit extra. The resistances are good, but the fire and cold immunity and lightning resistance from 2e make the Xorn a more defensive elemental. It fits for a creature that eats first, fights later. Earth Glide is a great ability, but players should be able to stop it somehow. Casting Move Earth, Earth Tremor, Erupting Earth, or Earthquake on an area containing the Xorn flings the Xorn 30 feet in a direction of the caster's choosing, and the Xorn is stunned for 1 round. Finally, let's add the Stomp action, that can be used as part of the multi-attack. The Xorn makes 3 claw attacks, and either 1 bite attack or a stomp attack. Stomp. The Xorn stomps, creating rippling earth in a 15-foot cone. Each creature in that area must make a DC 14 dexterity saving throw, taking 1d6 plus 3 bludgeoning damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. But I'm not done. Xorns are too cool to leave for now. They can speak and have unique diets and don't automatically want to kill everything. We need more Xorns. And then it hit me. The diet of a Xorn can change its characteristics. We see this with something called a Xarin, a monster with no official art and 3 small paragraphs in the 2E Monstrous Manual. It's just a metal-loving Xorn that has metallic skin. But what about other elemental plane-dwelling creatures that we could look at for inspiration? Gem dragons. Amethyst, emerald, sapphire, topaz, crystal, and obsidian. These are all gems and rocks that would be tasty for a Xorn. So we should have an arrangement of Xorn, each with a favorite food to eat. Just like the entries say, you could bribe them with a snack to extract some information, or maybe you take it another way. An emerald Xorn can't possibly resist a delicious-looking green-cut gem inside the party's pouch. It's time to go into a frenzy. So, here are the updates. The Stomp attack now does something different for each gem. Amethyst deals force damage instead of bludgeoning, Emerald deafens for 1d4 rounds and stuns if a creature fails by more than 8, Sapphire deals psychic damage, Topaz deals necrotic damage and deals double damage to plants, Crystal blinds for 1d4 rounds, and Fire for Obsidian Xorns. Their color and designs could vary as well, and immunities and resistances could be altered. For instance, the Crystal Xorn could be immune to cold and radiant damage, similar to the Crystal Dragon. The entire menagerie of Xorns are linked in a document down below, as well as an encounter that you can have with each. So back to the original proposal. King Xorn can simply be a Xorn that consumed a special metal and gained new special abilities. Much like these Gem Xorn. His tactics could be similar to the above, using the Burrow ability to strike and ultimately be distracted by treasure. Other than access to a left-behind horde, the harvest for killing a Xorn could be high. The olfactory bulb of the Xorn could be harvested to create a magical item capable of tracking down treasure. Stomach acid could be collected and used to corrode metals. Again, there's a document I've created linked below that has all this information. There's an encounter, the Xorn variations, and a magic item you can craft. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, a like or a comment helps immensely with engagement. All the links to the 3D models, as well as the link to my own document that I created, are down below, so be sure to check those out. Thank you.